Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Let's Build. We're building a survival games map in Minecraft, and I'm doing it live on stream. So if you want to come and watch, help on over right now to twitch.tv/Yogscast between the hours of 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. UK time. I'm going to be streaming building this survival games world. And so far we've built what you can see, 2 islands with the bridge connecting the two. There's a few floating kind of examples of what we'll add later on. Some trees, some scenery, and we've got the makings of a survival games map. Now the first island is where you're going to spawn, but the second island is where we're going to have like a lot of a medieval kind of theme. And so you can see on this island already, I've built a few guard towers, a graveyard. I've got the foundations for a big keep. And also at the end of the session last week, we started construction on the skyport. Now you can see here, this is the graveyard. It's looking quite picturesque with a few jack-o'-lanterns. Probably too many jack-o'-lanterns. We might have to reduce that number. But also there are the graves there and a whole bunch of donators, people who are kind enough to donate on the stream. I've been trying to put in names where I can to recognize their generosity and put their names in gravestones or create statues and stuff dedicated to them, name dogs and cats after them, just to say thank you for supporting me and the streams that I do. So anyway, back to the build. What we're doing here is we're pasting in, using World Edit, copy and paste, we're pasting in a copy of the guard tower that we've built elsewhere in the map. And I mentioned this before, but basically once you get a prefab or a building that you really like, you're really happy with, it's a great idea to just use the copy and paste tool to paste that around. If you want to make sure it's different, if you don't want to copy and paste the exact same design, you can always alter it afterwards, but it gives you a nice framework to get started with. Now we've got a road here that matches up to the staircase that goes up to the main keep, but as you can see, this road wraps around this guard tower down here. So far, the plans for this sky island are we're probably going to have a skyport. I want a stable somewhere on here because I love the idea of finding a stables in a survival games map. But what this staircase now at the moment is kind of building down towards is a nice flat area, which is going to be our skyport kind of docks. Now I had to rack my brains and think about what kind of buildings and things you would find at a skyport on a sky island, and I kind of came back to the old ideas of fantasy worlds and realms that exist in games and things. One of the things is you always find taverns down by skyports or by naval ports, because when the sailors come off their ships, they want to go and find somewhere to drink. But before I cracked on with that, I just came up here and joined the guard tower to the road that I built. Now you see the pink wool there. The pink wool is something I put down in, I think, the second episode of Let's Build, in the second session, as a marker to kind of map out where I was going to put buildings. I kind of sprayed some pink wool around the grass here because I wanted this to be an area where I put some buildings. I wasn't sure when I put it down what I wanted to build here, but now I realized that it's on the edge of the map, nice and flat. I figured, you know what, let's build a skyport. So you can see me here with wooden planks building out one of the first little jetties. Now this is going to be where all the boats are going to moor up, kind of just, sail up and kind of tie their hulls to the docks over here. I think it's a good idea. And so I'm bracing that as well with some fences. There's some upside down stairs for decoration. There's also some fences underneath the docks because, again, these docks aren't like conventional docks. They're not on the side of a riverbank or an ocean, and they don't kind of dip into the sea. Instead, they kind of hang over the world. And so that gives us a kind of a weird problem in that we have to think of something to put underneath the docks. So I've kind of staggered it with stairs to support the docks instead of posts to hold it up. And I've used kind of wooden posts and wooden fences as scaffolding to brace the docks as well. I joined the edge as well with this stone brick, and I want a kind of half stone brick, half rock and half dirt feel to it, so that it still feels like a natural sky island, but definitely stone bricks have been laid here, just as a loose foundation to brace the docks. Now here is a large square patch that we're going to be putting a crane on. One thing that you find at most naval ports is a crane, a big kind of crane to lift big heavy crates off of ships. And I figured, you know what, there's no reason why that kind of thing wouldn't exist at a skyport. So that's what we're doing here. We put down the framework for this, but ultimately, before I build the crane at the docks, I want to make sure I have a clear idea in my head of how I want it to be. So I just basically loosely built this crane platform that we'll be coming back to flesh out an actual crane later in the build, once I have some reference images to work off of. And then with that in place, I wanted to put down the framework for a tavern. Now, I've forgotten what we're going to call this tavern. I know I named it in the live stream, and I put down a sign on the building that reminded me what we were going to call it. It's going to be quite a complicated building, this, and it's really difficult for me to describe exactly the shape and way it's going to be built. But I will say that I'm using these wooden logs here as kind of like the wireframe. When I design a building in Minecraft, often the first step that I take is designing the wireframe out of logs, usually. And then the job becomes filling in the skin with your chosen building material. So that could be stone brick, it could be sandstone, it could be cobble, it could even be wood. And in this instance, we're using stone brick. And I'm using these dark, I can't remember what kind of plank that is. I think it might be dark wood, but it might be something else. But we're using these dark wooden staircases as a roof at the top of the tavern. Now, there's going to be like a balcony on this building, and that's going to be on the first floor there. Now you can see I've bordered the edges of the roof with a lighter oak wood. And what I'm probably going to do as well is raise out those borders with thicker bits of roof, just to further accentuate the detail. One thing, when you get large flat areas in Minecraft, like a wall or a roof, which isn't flat, but it's still very plain and regular, it's nice because the game is just so blocky. It's nice to go in and just change up some of the materials that are used for different bits. For example, these stairs. If there were mossy stairs, I could definitely change up some of these bricks for mossy brick stairs, and that would add like a bit of pattern and decoration to the stairs and make them not look too symmetrical and too clean. So that's something I might come back and do, and I might break a few of them away as well and replace them with dirt, just to make it look like it's not too well kept. Because this Sky Island, it's very much got a theme of, it's medieval and people still live here, but it's a little bit run down. There's going to be bits of stone broken off here and there, just where, you know, repair of buildings has kind of not really been kept up. But we're having a lot of fun so far, and it's been a real joy to build live with you guys in chat, kind of just hanging out and contributing. So if you want to come and join us, hit up twitch.tv/Yogscast, and I'll be streaming. But thanks for watching Let's Build, and I'll see you hopefully on the live stream for some more survival games map building. Take care.